There's nothing like some good family fun with Wheel of Fortune.
A group of pill pushers?
Adaptations of game shows have been around for almost as long as games themselves. There's always been a charming novelty to being able to play some Jeopardy yourself, even if you're way too dumb to go on the actual show. However, the console that was home to seemingly more game show games than any other was of course the Wii. A console marketed primarily towards families, where the controller is basically just a remote, is perfect for some good pick and choose a letter type of games. Two of these games stand out among the slew of game show games, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy for the Wii. These are probably the most popular game show games in America, and they were on the TV constantly in my household growing up. The two games utilize a ton of the same assets, but what's most important is their compatibility with this little guy, the Wii Speak. Yes, I actually own a Wii Speak, and yes, I bought a Wii Speak specifically for playing Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. I got this thing new with an open box for like $20, nobody cares about it. For a while, I was asking used game stores in my area if they had a Wii Speak, and none of them ever did. It's a bit of an odd, obscure accessory, and it only works with like 4 games. The promotional materials were mostly for Animal Crossing City Folk, a game I've never played. However, others were compatible with it, and there was even a Wii Speak channel on the console. Nintendo has had many oddball accessories over the decades, but this one is definitely up there. Most of the listed compatible games include sports games, and there was some emphasis on using this thing for online multiplayer chat, I believe. Nintendo had the gall to give this microphone these little mounting stickers for beneath your TV, just like the sensor bar has. Yeah, really great idea to put a microphone right next to your loud-ass TV speakers. At least the cord is long, and there's always some awkward passing around of the thing when guests are recording new voice lines for Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy, which we'll get into. These two games are absolute mainstays in my collection, and their novelty is unmatched, which is why these two games are simply the greatest game show games ever made. So we're going to start off with Wheel of Fortune. I have played this more than I would like to ever admit. It's an easy go-to when we have company at our house. The question, hey, do you want to play some Wheel of Fortune on Wii? You get to scream into this microphone, is a great way to bring family and friends together. There's numerous ways that the Wii Speak is utilized in the game. You can call your individual letters with it, but man, you better not be having any kind of side chat when you do. It is not great at detecting your letters and tries to listen to everything. So many letters in the alphabet sound similar, so you could guess V, C, D, B, G, and it'll just pick any of them. So in the options when it says use Wii Speak or whatever, I always leave this off. The most important functionality of it is in what the game calls happy and sad sounds. Yeah, you get to record yourself sounding happy or sad, depending on the outcome of your spin, or a guess of a letter. You only get one for each type of emotion, so make it count. I cannot fully explain the amount of laughs that have been had with this. There's no internet connection, and the game has no way of censoring what you're saying, so have at it. I have tons of examples that are safe for YouTube, and certainly some that I don't want to show anybody. You can't go wrong with just screaming bloody murder into the thing, though.
Damn you all to hell!
This is Wheel of Fortune, Joe!
Despite other versions of Wheel being more polished visually and perhaps involving some more precise controls, the Wii Speak is truly what sets this version above the others, and it actually having Pat Sajak and Vanna White. Of course, the game also involves some highly interactive motion controls, very analogous to the Wii. You get to spin the wheel by holding B and giving the Wii remote a hearty shake. I found generally that always going full power is a surefire way to actually get bankrupt, and you need to vary your power throughout the game. Sure, that Switch version is way better visually, and there's some retro charm to the NES or SNES versions. However, not all game show games are created equally by any means. You don't need a ton of effort to make a quality port of something like Wheel of Fortune, and honestly, these are probably considered shovelware titles. However, going that extra step is what makes this port so great. This was published by THQ, so it's not really that surprising, because they were usually high quality games. So I've been on a pursuit to get every one of the in-game unlocks and achievements ever since I got the game a few years ago. Getting every stage was an absolute grind. You have to win the bonus round and hope to the wheel gods that your prize is a new stage. We finally did get them all eventually, but it took a lot of time. We are still grinding through unlocking all the extra customizable elements and getting all the achievements. Winning the $1 million is no joke. I've had a few times where I've gotten the wedge all the way to the bonus round, but I've not gotten lucky enough for it to be my prize. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't know how the million actually works in Wheel. So you don't get $1 million just banked when you land on this wedge. No, you have to get the letter right, of course, and then the real challenge comes in that you can't get bankrupt for the rest of the entire game. You also then have to win the game and then get to the bonus round. Here, the $1 million becomes one of the possible prizes on the bonus wheel. Then you gotta get the bonus puzzle right, which can be really hard sometimes, and pray that your prize is in fact the million. Does that sound easy? Well, no, it sure as hell is not. Anyways, after all that, I'll just reiterate what a sleeper hit this game has become for me and my girlfriend whenever we have a third player visiting especially. This was kind of a joke purchase at a used book/game store for $5, and we didn't really think anything of it. I wouldn't call it a hidden gem or anything. I mean, who doesn't know what Wheel of Fortune is? However, I'd say it's a game that offers you more fun than you might think and goes that extra mile with the Wii Speak support. There's nothing like some good family fun with Jeopardy!
Ken.
What's a hoe?
No. They teach you that in school in Utah, huh, Al?
Jeopardy! Was always my favorite game show. Even when I was a kid and knew zero trivia, I could just feel the intensity and excitement that the rapid pace of this game presents, and my mom loved playing along. Alex Trebek was an absolute legend, and I will just quickly note that the Sega Genesis Jeopardy! Game, mustache and all, became a frequent visit for a time between some of my best friends and myself. When Trebek passed, the hunt for a new host was certainly an interesting time to be a fan of the game show. Knowing though that there's a 0% chance that Jeopardy! Will ever be hosted by Steve Harvey makes this show all that more appealing.
The dumbest thing you could have said! What are you, an idiot?
The Wii version features similar Wii Speak support to its Wheel counterpart. However, you also get to write your name in on the podium just like they do on the show. I'll tell you though, have you ever drawn with the Wii remote? It's far from easy, even to just write your name is impossible. It begs to be a Wii U game. Without the Wii Speak, it's an entertaining version of Jeopardy! That works well. We have Alex Trebek, character model and all. However, the Wii Speak really does up the ante on picking this as the definitive Jeopardy! Video game, just as it does for Wheel of Fortune as well. The Switch version for Jeopardy! Is absolute garbage. The Wheel port is pretty good. It's pretty, true to the original game, to the game show, whatever. The Jeopardy! Switch port is trash. What is this aesthetic? This is not Jeopardy! This is like when your teacher would fire up some free Jeopardy! Website and turn it into a game before a test. I'm sticking to the Wii here every time. On easy mode, you get the multiple choice, but the other difficulties you have to spell it out with the Wii remote. Honestly, I could criticize the Wii and Switch versions for offering multiple choice, as that's a little lame, but it is just a better experience than typing sometimes, especially if it's like the end of the day and you're like, oh my god, I don't really feel like thinking all that much. Again, it's a video game, you're not on the actual show. I don't have a ton else to say about Jeopardy!, especially compared to all the things I had to say about Wheel. Honestly, we don't play this one nearly as much. Wheel is just pure moronic entertainment, whereas Jeopardy! Does require a little more thought, so Wheel's a little more accessible, but it's still great from time to time. The goofy character models, Wii Speak support, and ability to scribble in your name makes this an incredibly charming port of the greatest game show of all time. So it's kind of funny. I like watching Jeopardy! Much more than Wheel, but playing Wheel has been a lot more enjoyable. Ultimately, there's an absolute ton of ports for both Wheel and Jeopardy! Throughout pretty much the entire history of video games. Despite the visual improvements since these two on the Wii, I still find these to be the peak. Now, there are a ton of other game show games on the Wii, as I had mentioned, some of which also have that mid-2000s charm. However, not all of them received the same care that Wheel and Jeopardy! Did. I can't blame them though. How many people are going to seek out Wheel or Jeopardy! Versus Press Your Luck or Hollywood Squares? The other games certainly get more niche as you go deeper and deeper, and they weren't all THQ games. But the Wii got a port of damn near everything. Perhaps, though, those other games will be for another time. So for now, thanks for watching.